In the fall of 1877, the people of Preston County stopped talking about the Byrd farmhouse. They stopped walking near it. They stopped asking questions about what they'd heard inside those cellar walls. Because when the sheriff finally forced that door open, the entire Byrd family was gone. No bodies. No signs of struggle. Just a locked cellar, and the sound of something still moving beneath it. I'm your narrator. And this is Forgotten Remains. Tonight, we reopen a case that history tried to erase. The Byrd Sisters' Cellar, a father's sin, and the town that vanished. The first record of the Byrd family appears in the Richmond Gazette, dated November 6, 1877. A single column tucked between grain prices and weather reports. It read, Preston County. A peculiar silence surrounds the farm of Charles Byrd. Neighbors report the house long unvisited, smoke absent from the chimney. Sheriff Winton dispatched a deputy to investigate. That was all the public ever heard. When Deputy Winton rode out to the Byrd farm, he found the gate chained shut and the windows boarded from the inside. The livestock had starved in their pens. On the porch sat a single rocking chair, still gently moving in the breeze. No one inside, no footprints leading away. Just the door to the cellar, barred tight with iron bolts, the metal still warm as if handled recently. The Gazette's reporter, a man named Elijah Carter, arrived 2 days later. His notes, preserved today in the Virginia Historical Archive, became the backbone of what we know. Carter wrote, I called to the sisters through the floorboards, thinking them trapped below, but heard only a hollow echo, as if the house itself were answering. He described an odor, like damp earth and iron, and a rhythmic sound under the floorboards, faint but deliberate. When he left that night, he claimed the house breathed, the boards rising slightly beneath his boots as if exhaling. Authorities sealed the property within a week. The official report cited family abandonment, but locals spoke of something else. A sickness that began when the sisters returned from tending their dying mother in the mountains. They said the women had changed. They whispered that the sisters were protecting something, or someone beneath that floor. For nearly a century, the Byrd farmhouse decayed in isolation. Fires took most of Preston County's original courthouse records, erasing nearly every trace of the family. But in 1972, a graduate student named Mary Hale stumbled on Carter's lost letters while cataloging old Gazette archives. She was the first person to reopen the case. Mary's field diary describes her drive to the ruins, the road, overgrown with sumac, the farmhouse, roof collapsed, porch swallowed by vines. Yet when she descended the steps, she found that same cellar door still bolted from the outside. Hale recorded strange details. The air below felt cold enough to frost her breath. The walls were wet, though no water leaked nearby. And carved into one timber beam was a single word, confess. That word appeared in every room she entered afterward. She never published her findings. Her advisor said she left school suddenly, citing nervous exhaustion. The letters she recovered were sealed until 1998, when a local historian, Dr. Raymond Keene, reopened them for a documentary on unsolved 19th-century vanishings. In Keene's taped interview, he says, the cellar was built over an older foundation, likely pre-Civil War. Beneath it lay another room, unfinished without records. Whatever the Byrds were hiding, it began long before 1877. Photographs taken by Keene's crew show faint writing on the inside of the cellar door, verses, names, and what appears to be dates. The last reading October 31, 1877. That was the night the Byrd family disappeared. When we reached out to Preston County residents for this investigation, few were willing to talk. Those who did mentioned hearing a tone, an almost musical hum, on still nights near the old road. Some called it the Byrd Sisters hymn. No one ever agreed to show us the exact site. Next, we'll examine the remaining fragments of Carter's final letter, never published in the Gazette, found only in Hale's private notes. They suggest that what he saw, or thought he saw, beneath the Byrd farmhouse was not human at all. In 1999, Dr. Raymond Keene returned to the Byrd property for what he called a final site survey. He brought a single reel camera and an assistant, Thomas Reeves. Reeves' logbook, donated later to the Preston County Historical Society, tells what happened that night. He wrote, 9:47 p.m., Dr. Keene marked faint vibrations underfoot, synchronized to no visible source. 9:58, lights from town power line flickered, though the grid sits 3 miles east. 10:05, heard a low harmonic note. Origin, ground below. That was Keene's last entry. His camera was found 3 days later on the road shoulder, the film inside partially exposed. The image that survived shows only the farmhouse door, half open, and a swirl of dust suspended midair, as if time itself had paused. State police listed both men missing. For years, the case was considered an accident, until, in 2018, Preston County surveyors uncovered a hidden crawlspace while mapping flood damage. Inside, rusted lantern fragments and a single slate board etched with a drawing of two women standing beside a well. Experts dated the slate to the 1870s. The chalk residue contained limestone and bone dust consistent with materials from the Cellar foundation. Whatever the Byrd family sealed underground, it was never meant to be found. Today, the land is overgrown. GPS marks nothing. But those who pass by at night still report hearing that same low tone. 3 notes, like a lullaby without words. When analyzed through spectral software, the sound forms a pattern almost identical to the Morse code for a single word, here. The Virginia State Archives now hold the remaining Byrd documents under restricted access. Requests for copies are often denied without explanation. And yet, every few months a visitor arrives at the historical museum asking to see the room that breathed. They never leave contact information. Maybe it was guilt that consumed the Byrd family. Maybe madness. Or maybe, just maybe, some houses remember what their builders tried to forget. I'm your narrator. This has been Forgotten Remains. If you ever find yourself on an abandoned road outside Preston County and you hear a note rise from the ground, don't follow it. History has a habit of leaving its darkest truths buried just deep enough to keep us curious. Tonight's story reminds us that even the smallest towns can hold secrets no one was meant to uncover. If you want to hear more forgotten histories, more cases that were quietly erased from official record, remember to subscribe and keep your light close. I'm your narrator, and this is Forgotten Remains.